Hello my crafty friends, it's me Lisa, the DIY Diva, and I have a bunch of new fall and Halloween DIY decor with a high-end look that looks like it came from Pottery Barn and places like that. So instead of telling you about the projects, let me show you how to make them.
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say, oh baby.
For my first project, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree pumpkin. I love these foam Dollar Tree pumpkins. There are so many things that you can do with them. So after I remove the stem, I'm going to insert a paintbrush because this makes it really easy to hold on to the pumpkin when you're painting it. So I'm going to start off by painting this pumpkin with just plain white acrylic paint. The entire pumpkin is going to get a nice coat of the white acrylic paint. And if you're wondering what this is going to become, I'm trying to make a pumpkin planter that resembles something that I saw on the Pottery Barn website. So once my first layer of paint was dry on the pumpkin, I came back with some more acrylic paint. I believe this was a light mocha by Deco Art, and I added in some more of the white acrylic paint that I already had. Then I just blended all of the paint together to see what the color would be. I added in some baking soda. Now the baking soda is the secret ingredient because this is going to give texture to the pumpkin and it's going to help remove that foam or styrofoam appearance that these pumpkins tend to have no matter what kind of painting you do on them. So by adding a lot of baking soda into the paint mixture, I'm going to be able to make this look more like a pumpkin instead of looking like a Dollar Tree pumpkin that I just painted. And once I had a nice thick coat of the baking soda paint all over the pumpkin, I came back with some more of the white acrylic paint and just drew lines on it with my paintbrush. Then I took a chip paintbrush and I blended all of that paint together so it looks like there's different shades in the paint. And once that was dry, I came back with an X-Acto knife and I removed the top of the pumpkin because, like I said, I want to make this look like a pumpkin planter. I saw something like this on Pottery Barn and it was so pretty. I really wanted to see if I could make something like that with a Dollar Tree pumpkin. And once I had the top of the pumpkin cut off, I decided I wanted this to be a little more white and a little more gray. So I came back with some more of that white acrylic paint and I repainted the pumpkin again. And with each additional layer of the paint that's going onto this pumpkin, it really does help it to not have that styrofoam look. Next, I came back with some Deco Art metallic paint, and I believe this was in like a gunmetal color, so it's like a dark steel, and I just painted that onto all of the depressions of the pumpkin. Then using the chip brush again, I just blended that metallic paint into the white acrylic paint that was still wet on the pumpkin. Next, I came back and painted the inside portion of the pumpkin where you can still see the foam. And here is my pumpkin planter all dried. I really like how that looks with those different shades of the metallic silver color. And then I just had to figure out which plant I wanted to put into this planter. Now, while this one looks okay, you could still see the top of the planter. So what I decided to do was take some floral foam and just cut that down so that it would fit into the planter. And then I cut off individual pieces of an artificial plant and put that into the floral foam. And then I secured the floral foam into the pumpkin. And this is the end project. Look at how cute this is. Sure, it's a smaller version of something that you would find at Pottery Barn, but I think it looks really nice. And you can't really tell that this is a Dollar Tree foam pumpkin. Now for the next project, I love these pumpkin pillows, but they're a little more than I wanted to spend. So I found this pumpkin at the Dollar Tree and it's like a pillow pumpkin and it was $3. So what I did was take the tag off, but then I also removed the stem. I really like this stem. I think I can use this for a future project, but I just need this pillow pumpkin for right now. Next, I found this really pretty fleece. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like a teddy bear fleece material at Hobby Lobby. And I bought it when it was 40% off. So I got 2 yards of this material for less than $10. That was a really good deal. So I cut strips of this material. And what I want to do is glue these strips onto this pumpkin. And I'm not a seamstress, so I don't measure very often. I probably should, but I don't. But I just cut down pieces of that fleece and then I just secured it to the pumpkin. So for every section on the pumpkin, I applied a piece of the fleece material. I applied a piece of the fleece. I made a rhyme. And I used a little silicone tool to really push that fleece material down into the creases of the pumpkin because I want to mimic that look. This fleece is so pretty and it really does have a pillowy appearance like the Pottery Barn pumpkins. Next, I came back with some strips of that fleece material and using my hot glue gun, I just ran the hot glue down one side of it. And then I folded the strips in half and just pushed the material down into the glue. It almost gives the material a rolled look. And just like the larger pieces of the fleece, I did enough of these strips so that it's going to cover up all of the seams on the fleece pieces that I put onto the pumpkin. And then I just attached the strips to cover up the original fleece pieces that I put on the pumpkin. And I know it doesn't look identical to the Pottery Barn pumpkins, but I think this is a really easy way. If you're not into sewing like me, I'm not a very good seamstress, but I am really handy with the glue gun. So this is a really easy project if you have a glue gun and some fleece material and something that you can use for a pumpkin. And I just continued applying those strips anywhere that there was a seam with the fleece material. Next, I came back with this Dollar Tree yarn, and I had this larger stick from one of the trees in my front yard. So I just took the stick and I covered it with the yarn. I did use a lot of hot glue in the beginning just to really make sure that I have the yarn secured down to the edge of the stick, which is going to be the stem of my pumpkin. And I think if you spend a little bit of extra time and really secure the yarn down at the base of the stem, it makes it a lot easier to wrap that yarn around the stick. And I liked this kind of fat, stubby stem. I thought it would resemble the pumpkins from Pottery Barn a little bit better. I continued wrapping the yarn all the way to the top of that little stick. And then I used some hot glue around the bottom edge of it, and that is how I secured it to the top of my pumpkin. Isn't that pretty? I love this pumpkin so much. I think it turned out really nice. And again, it doesn't look exactly like Pottery Barn, but it doesn't look like a Dollar Tree pumpkin either. It will make a really nice addition to my fall decorating this year. Now I found this pillowcase at the Dollar Tree, and these are actually really large. This is an 18 by 18 satin pillowcase, and I have a lot of this fleece material left. So I decided to make a fleece pillow for my couch for my fall decorating. This is so easy. All I did was secure the fleece to the pillowcase. I did keep the material in one piece, so when I got to the bottom, I just had to glue down the material. And I made sure to glue it down all the way down, like all the way at the very, very edge of the case. And then I gave it just a minute to dry. It actually dries really fast. And I flipped over the pillowcase with the fleece material. And then all I had to do was start gluing that material down again. Now, will I be able to wash this pillow? No, probably not. But I only use this in my decorating, like for fall, so the chances of it staying clean are pretty high. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted this fleece material, because I wanted a nice, big, fluffy pillow that looks like a teddy bear, but I didn't want to spend like $50 or $60 for it. So I just continued using my hot glue all the way around the edges of the pillowcase. I guess this would be more of a pillow cover. Now the top edge of this pillow cover does have a zipper. So what I did was just take the fleece material right to the edge of the zipper because I don't want to cover the zipper. I want to make sure I can actually fill the pillow. And once I had glued all four sides of both sides of the pillow, then I just cut away the excess fleece material. And when I had the pillow cut down to the size that it's going to be, I came back with a little more hot glue and just ran that around the edges of the material, binding both pieces of the material together. And right around the opening of the pillow, I just rounded off the corners. Then I came back with some pillow stuffing, and this was from an old pillow. And I filled up my new pillow. And once I had the pillow as full as I wanted it to be, all I had to do was use the zipper to close the pillow up. And look at that, I have a really pretty brand new pillow to put on my couch. And here is my teddy bear fleece pillow. I think it looks really nice on my couch with my fall pillows. Now the other fall pillows I got at Home Goods, and I think they were like $29 for a set of two of them. And I really like them. They're nice and big. But this little 18 by 18 pillow from the Dollar Tree is pretty nice too. Now I still have a lot of that fleece material. And then I also had this material, and I can't remember what I had bought this for. It was some project. So I decided I was going to make a small pillow. I saw something like this on Etsy, and I thought it would be pretty easy to duplicate. So I took two pieces of material. And then I figured out how much of the filling, the pillow filling, that I needed to put into it. And then using my hot glue gun, I hot glued three sides of the material. And then I took another piece of material and put it on top. And once the hot glue had time to set up, then I used a little bit of pillow stuffing and stuffed it into my really small pillow. This would be a nice way to make pillows for dolls as well. That would be kind of neat as a homemade Christmas gift. What do you think? Little pillows for a doll. And once I had enough stuffing in my pillow, then I used some hot glue and just sealed it up. And then I cut off the excess to really make this pillow have pretty even edges. But then I decided I wanted to add a pumpkin. So what I did was take a wooden pumpkin and use that as a pattern. And then using some pinking shears, I cut out the pattern of the pumpkin. And that's going to sit on top of my pillow. But I want it to have a little bit of fluffing, so I put a little bit of pillow stuffing in between the material. So I'm like making a little pillow to go on top of the larger pillow. And then I took another piece of material that had a pattern on it and I put that on top. So now it really does look like a pumpkin. It does have some shape to it. And I took a couple pieces of that teddy bear fleece that I had cut into kind of oval shapes. And I took 3 pieces of it. I glued 2 of the ovals side by side. And then I took a smaller oval and I glued that right in between the 2 larger ovals. So now it really looks like a pumpkin. And I'm going to secure this on top of the pillow with a little bit of hot glue and then add a little tiny bow. And that's pretty like it is, but I decided to add in a little bit of a ribbon edge, and this is just Dollar Tree ribbon that I hot glued onto my pumpkin pillow. And here is my pumpkin pillow being displayed in part of my fall decor this year. This is a really neat addition. I think it's really unique and I really like it. And I hope you do too. All right, now this is the project that I really have wanted to make for a while now. And I found this material at the Dollar Tree and it's really cute, but it's too small for what I want to do. I'm going to make Gus the Ghost like Pottery Barn, but this is a Gus the Ghost that you don't have to sew. So I have these 2 styrofoam cones and I just cut the top off of them. One is smaller, one is larger. And I took these Dollar Tree plastic bowls, I guess they're bowls, and I glued those to the top of the flat portion of the styrofoam cones. And this is another project that I wanted to use this fleece material for, to make little ghosts for decorating for Halloween. So I just cut the fleece material into a rectangle and then I just played around with it to see how I could make this look like a ghost. That's pretty close. With the pumpkin, it's gonna look wonderful. So I want to make sure that the top of my ghost isn't going to be too pointed. So I took some cotton balls and I just secured those to the outer top edge of the plastic bowl that's on top of the styrofoam cone. And I just worked my way all the way around the plastic bowl with the cotton balls, and then I filled in the top with cotton balls as well. Again, because I really want this ghost to have more of a round appearance at the top. Next, I came back with a piece of the fleece material and determined if I had enough of the material for the ghost. Once I was happy with that, I came back with my hot glue gun and put a lot of hot glue on top of all of those cotton balls, and then I carefully placed the fleece material on top. Next, I pulled it down a little bit just to make sure I'm going to have the shape of the ghost that I want it to be. Now, if you're going to do this project, the piece of the fleece material, it's more of a rectangle than anything else, and it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Now I need to make the pumpkin, and I've seen people do this project with flat pumpkins, but I wanted this pumpkin to be round. So what I did, since I have two ghosts, is I cut the pumpkin in half. Next, I came back with some hot glue and put that all over the pumpkin, and with a smaller piece of the fleece, I just secured that to the pumpkin. I secured it to the front first, and then I folded the edges around the back so that this will look like a pumpkin. Now, the Pottery Barn pumpkin, it's the same type of this fleece material. And even though I didn't have that color, I did have plenty of this fleece. So that is why I'm using it for the pumpkin. And the ghost also has eyes. So I took that fleece material and I cut down ovals, which will be the eyes of the ghost. And this is the really fun part. I did not have black fleece, but I did have black acrylic paint and a stencil brush. So what I did was dab black acrylic paint onto these little pieces of fleece to make the eyes for the ghosts. There's the ghost eyes. And I have lots of orange acrylic paint. So I took that and using my stencil brush, I painted the fleece for the pumpkin with the orange paint. I wasn't sure if this was going to turn out, but it did. So you don't necessarily have to buy all of these colors if you're going to be doing this project. If you get the white or the cream colored fleece, you can paint little pieces to be what you want it to be. Now, for some reason, I did have this teddy bear fleece in this brown color, which I thought would be perfect for my pumpkin stems. So I just took a small stick and then wrapped the fleece around the stick. Once I was happy with the thickness of my stem, then I just cut away the excess material and I cut a little circle out, which will be the top of my pumpkin stem. And then I secured the pumpkin stem to the top of the pumpkin. And look at that, it totally looks like a pumpkin. Now, after I had let everything dry, it was time to assemble my ghost. I love this. This is such a fun project and it's just so cute. I just can't help myself. It's so cute. So what I did was flip the ghost over. And I'm going to trim away any of the excess fleece because I just wanted a rectangle shape, but I decided to round two sides of the fleece material. And then I rounded out the other two sides. I needed to make sure that I had enough of that fleece to cover the entire cone so you won't see the cone when the ghost is standing up. Then I took my pumpkin and I attached it to the front of the ghost. And I put a little bit of hot glue on one side. And then I brought some of the fleece over like it's the ghost holding on to the pumpkin. And I repeated the process on the other side. Next, I came back with the eyes and I secured them in place with some hot glue. And that's it. There is Gus the ghost, the pumpkin, and I have 2 of them. Oh my goodness. Aren't these adorable? They are so cute. They aren't pillows, but I'm just going to use them in my decorating this year because they are just too adorable. Now this is the Pottery Barn Gus the Ghost, and he is cute, but he's also $86. Oh, that is so expensive. Now, they do have this ghost on Amazon for around $16, and I will leave links in the description box below in case you wanted one for yourself, or you can do what I did and you can make a couple of ghosts. It cost me less than $10 to make both of these ghosts for my Halloween decorating. And I could not be happier with how they turned out. Now I know you've seen these before. I found these jack-o'-lantern or candy buckets at Walmart for $1.98 a piece. I decided I wanted to make a Pottery Barn jack-o'-lantern. So I started by cutting out all of the shapes. So I cut out the mouth, and on this one I left 1 tooth on the pumpkin. Then I cut out his nose and I cut out the eyes as well. If you're going to do something like this, please be very careful. Make sure you're using an X-Acto knife or something like that, but make sure to be careful when you're cutting. An X-Acto knife makes it really easy to get a nice straight line and remove all of the pieces that you want to remove. And here's my jack-o'-lantern. And here's another one I made. So what I'm going to do is take this Rust-Oleum gold metallic spray paint, and I'm going to spray paint the inside of each of these pumpkins. Now, if you wanted to do this with a different color, by all means, you could do whatever you wanted, but I really like this gold. And the pumpkins are going to be black, so the black and gold will look so nice together. I love this gold spray paint. It is just so shiny. And I love this gold so much. I wanted to see what it would look like to completely paint one of these candy buckets with the gold spray paint. So I painted the inside first, and then I came back and painted the outside of the pumpkin bucket. And it's just gold, and I like that. Now, once the gold paint had dried on my pumpkins, I brought it back inside and painted the outside of the pumpkin with black acrylic paint. And I did try to do this with white paint first. I thought I wanted it to be white, but after I saw this one with the black paint, I really like how that looked better. Next, I came back with some rub and buff, and this is an antique gold leaf. And what I did was just paint the rub and buff around the top edge of the pumpkin. The antique gold leaf matches the inside of this pumpkin perfectly. And this will unite the 2 colors between the black and the gold. And if you've never used rub and buff before, this is so much fun to use, and you don't need very much of it. And here are my pumpkins, or I guess I should say, here are my jack-o'-lanterns, and I put a flameless battery-powered candle inside each of my jack-o'-lanterns, and then I have my gold jack-o'-lantern in the back. I love how these turned out. I think they are so pretty, and I think they're gonna look really nice on my porch this year for when trick-or-treaters come. So which one of these projects was your favorite? I have to say, I think the ghosts were my favorite, but honestly, I loved making all of them. And if you enjoy videos like this, I would love it if you would take a moment and hit that subscribe button. And if you click the bell notification, you'll get an alert every time I have a new video coming out. And I hope to see you stick around for my next video. Bye!